What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, proud and ready to deliver you our team builder for week 10 of the PFL Minor League. We are now down in second place in the power rankings, and it kind of blows, literally by like 1 or 2 differential points, because we were tied on differential with Steven as of last week, and then Steven was able to beat us 1-0, so he surpassed us. We're still tied by record, so it's literally just a matter of differential at this point. If I get a few more higher differential matches, we'll move back to the top of the power rankings. We have already clinched our spot in the playoffs, which is fantastic. We are so far ahead in our division, but that does not mean A, these divisional matches don't matter, and B, winning still doesn't matter. We still want to win out the rest of the season and have the most dominant looking record possible. I want to keep it so those 2 losses we've suffered so far are the only losses we suffer this season. So that's the plan. Anyways, this week, week 10, we are taking on Supaman and the New York Aggrons for our rematch. Another divisional match. We are 4-0 in our division. We beat him last time. I believe it was a 4 or 5-0 victory. And Mega Lopunny swept last time. Mega Lopunny put in so much work, and I really want that to happen again. I really want Mega Lopunny to put in that work again. So that's the goal here. I want Mega Lopunny to shine again this week, so hopefully we can pull that off. But yeah, his team, I don't believe he made any free agency trades. I'm not totally positive. I can actually double check that real quick. Just flip back in time. Flip back in time and see what we got here. Doesn't look like any changes were made. No changes were made at all. No changes were made to his team. Except, no, he has Typhlosion instead of Infernape this time. So, one minor change, not a big deal, but he has Drapion, Mega Aggron, Toxicroak, Azumarill, Clawitzer, Bisharp, Barbaracle, Mismagius, Hitmonlee, Machamp, Typhlosion, and that's it. So, his team's kind of scary, but kind of not. I think we can definitely handle it. We saw once we got off a power-up punch or 2 last time, we were pretty much able to sweep his team with Mega Lopunny. So, that's pretty cool. So, I'm not gonna dilly-dally too much here. I want to get into the team that we are bringing, and we are leading it off with Chun-Li, our Mega Lopunny. Chun-Li's here and ready to go. Chun-Li is prepared for this matchup 100%. Chun-Li's going to come out and put in work. We have the Fake Out so that we can guarantee our Mega Evolution, get our Mega up, and get our stat boosts, which is great. He doesn't have anything with Inner Focus. We always have to check for those Inner Focus mods, man. Always got to check for them. He has nothing with Inner Focus on his team to my memory, so we get a basically free Mega off turn 1 for the most part, and then we go from there. We have High Jump Kick. High Jump Kick will just shit on like the majority of his team, even though there's a lot of things that resist it, such as the Azumarill and the Toxicroak. The Azumarill, the Toxicroak, both resist it, don't really matter all that much, because we can still hit them pretty freaking hard with it. It's still going to hurt them a lot. We have the Power-Up Punch. Power-Up Punch was really key to our victory last time. We were able to get to like +3, I think. And I think it took being +3 to OHKO the Mega Aggron, which was really, really huge for us, because being able to do that was very important. And this time, I don't know if we were packing it last time, but this time we're packing the Thunder Wave, because obviously, there's a couple mons on his team that could potentially set up with speed, and I don't want them doing that. For example, he could Shell Smash with Barbaracle, which isn't that big of a deal because we can just High Jump Kick and kill it. But just in case, I don't want to chance a High Jump Kick miss, and then Barbaracle gets a free Shell Smash and then shits on our team. You know, I don't want that kind of thing happening. Scarf Mismagius could be a thing. Unburden Hitmonlee. I want to be able to shut those kind of things down ASAP. and then not have to worry about them later. Because that's something that's truly terrifying. Truly, truly terrifying. Then again, I'm not too scared of Unburdened Hitmonlee. It's not as terrifying, but I have things to handle, but still. And you know, Scarf Typhlosion is also a potential option. So just things to think about, things to have on my mind as I look through these mons. But Thunderwave is there just to be absolutely sure that we can outspeed everything. Absolutely everything, no matter what it is. It's also a good way to handle the Azumarill. If the Azumarill wants to try to set up a belly drum predicting our switch, we can paralyze it, and then at least have more of a chance of some of our other mons to come in against it and not die immediately to any old move or something like that. So that's kind of good. So yeah, that's going to be our Mega Lopunny. We're running Max Attack Adamant. That's all we really... That's what we want. We need to hit as hard as possible. We're running 140 speed EVs. That's all we need. We outspeed the Mismagius by 1 point with this spread. And then I threw the rest into HP just for the simple fact of having that extra bulk. Just so that we can maybe take a hit a little bit better. So that's going to be our Mega Lopunny. To help Mega Lopunny paralyze some things, we have Thor the Thunderous. Thunderous is here with the Life Orb, as usual, rocking, again, just enough speed to outspeed the Mismagius by 1 point. 212 with a Timid Nature, max special attack, and then the remainder gets split between HP, defense, and special defense so that we still have an odd amount of HP for Stealth Rock switch-ins. So that's kind of cool. Thunderwave, so we can paralyze things. Thunderbolt, so that we can blow things like the Azumarill and the Cloyster and Barbaracle out of the water. Volt Switch for momentum. My opponent has 0 ground types, so I can literally just click Volt Switch and move on with my life. And Psychic is there because I wanted something that can hit the Hitmonlee and Machamp super effectively. So that's why that's there. Plus, it hits the Toxicroak 4 times effectively, so which is even better. Thundurus is just pretty much going to come out and kick ass, essentially, every single time it hits the field. So that's really, really cool. Thundurus hasn't really shined as much, but he's done what he needed to do every week. Either he kills the thing he needs to kill, or he paralyzes the things he needs to paralyze, and that's pretty much all I can ask of him, to be honest. Next up, we have Black Lagoon, our Swampert, running a fully physically defensive Bold Nature with max HP, max defense. Very, very standard spread. Rocking a moveset of Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Stealth Rock, and Roar this time. Earth Power so we can hit the Mega Aggron on the special side because it's very, very physically defensive. And half of his team is weak to ground. And a lot of those mons are more physically defensive than specially. So hitting them on the special side with the Earth Power is going to do decent, about a bit more damage. Sludge Wave is there for the Azumarill, because Azumarill can normally kind of switch into this thing, and maybe even attempt to set up on it, and I don't want that to happen, so I can hit it with a Sludge Wave super effectively, and we can eat 1 or 2 of its hits. Even if it goes for Belly Drum, we can eat a hit for sure, and do the damage. We also have the Roar. Roar is very, very key for this set because of things like Belly Drum Azumarill, Shell Smashing Barbaracle, SD or Nasty Plot Toxicroak, you know, a lot SD Drapion, Nasty Plot Mismagius, Unburdened Hitmonlee. There's so many mons on this team that like to set up, and having that Roar there is very, very useful to cancel that out. Screw those setup mons up, maybe after we get a little damage on them, or just roar them out immediately. And it's also really helpful along with our Stealth Rocks that we're packing, so that we can cycle them through the rocks and just constantly rack up the damage. It'll be cool if we get the Typhlosion in a couple times on the rocks, if he brings it. It'd be really cool if we can get that thing in on the rocks a few times, chip that thing down 25% at a time. That'd be really huge. Overall, Swampert pretty much eats hits from everything on this team, barring like an Energy Ball or an HP Grass from something. but outside of that, he eats hits from just about everything on this team beautifully, and can just cycle them through on these rocks and do as much damage as possible without really having to attack too much. So that's really, really cool. Next up, we have Cannons the Magmortar rocking the Assault Vest. Max speed, max special attack with a mild nature with the Flame Body. So even though we are not physically defensive in any way, and we are actually lowering our physical defense, we can switch into, if we switch into a physical attack, we can potentially burn the opponent, which is kind of cool. Or if they try to hit us with a physical move, they can potentially get burned, which would be kind of cool. We have the Flamethrower. Flamethrower is all we really need. Flamethrower at max special attack, mild nature. Does 2-hit KO the Mega Aggron. It'll also OHKO the Toxicroak if it's dry skin. And it will, I believe, OHKO the Bisharp as well. So that's really cool. Something we have to be careful about is the Flash Fire Typhlosion, which is why we're running mild over modest, because I am also packing the Earthquake. Earthquake is there for all the ground weaknesses, and especially for the Typhlosion, who might want to switch into our potential Fire-type moves. So having the Earthquake there is a good prediction-based move. You know, if he wants to try to switch the Typhlosion in and go for an EQ, not only will we eat any hit the Typhlosion wants to throw at us, but we're going to do massive damage to that Typhlosion on a switch in, because Typhlosion ain't all that bulky. So an Earthquake, even from a non-invested, Magmortar and attack, it's still going to do a decent chunk of damage, so that's really, really awesome. Other than that, we're running Psychic and Thunderbolt just for coverage. Thunderbolt to hit the water types, Psychic to hit the fighting types super effectively. This thing hits the entire team super effectively with something, which is pretty much amazing. The only thing that we're not hitting super effectively is Mismagius, but Mismagius is super duper frail, so we can pretty much 2-hit KO it with Flamethrower. We can guarantee 2-hit KO it with a Flamethrower, and since we're Assault Vested, it can't do all that much to us. So that's awesome. Next Mon we have is Spooptree, who is also Assault Vested. Spooptree, the Trevenant, is rocking that Assault Vest. Ladies and gentlemen, with the moveset of Horn Leech, Earthquake, Drain Punch, and Shadow Claw. 244 HP, 12 in defense, 12 in special defense, and max attack. Horn Leech, for those beautiful grass types, unless he's running Sapsipper Azu, it's not really a safe thing to have against me. This thing can basically sit in front of just about any one of them, especially Barbaracle. This thing just switches in beautifully. This thing switches into Cloudser beautifully. And just knocks them the hell down with a Horn Leech, which does huge amounts of damage. We have the Earthquake for all of those ground weaknesses. We have Drain Punch, so that we can hit... What are we hitting with the Drain Punch? What were we hitting with Drain Punch? I don't remember what we're hitting with Drain Punch. Bisharp, so we can hit Bisharp super effectively. We can take one Sucker Punch. We can take one Sucker Punch from Bisharp and kill that thing with a Drain Punch. I made sure that we can take a Sucker Punch, because that's gonna happen. So that's cool. And then we have the Shadow Claw just for the Mismagius. We can take a Shadow Ball from Mismagius very nicely and then knock that thing out with a Shadow Claw immediately. No second guessing it. Shadow Claw 100% knocks it out, because it is so frail on the physical side. So Spooptree is going to put in a lot of work. And last but not least, we have Stego. Stego the Armaldo, rocking the leftovers, the battle armor. This thing is running more of an bulky offensive set. We have the leftovers, a little bit of going into our special defense. But we were running 244 HP and max attack with an adamant nature. Normally I would have an assault vest with this kind of set, but I decided that it just wasn't necessary. We're running more of a bulky offensive utility-ish set. Knockoff is here for the Mismagius, but also just for the utility purpose of getting rid of items. I realized I built a team without knockoff on it, and I was like, nah man, we can't have that. This is 6th gen meta. We kind of have to have that knockoff on there, just for the simple fact of getting those items gone and out of there. So that was kind of important. We got the Earthquake. Earthquake's going to do massive damage to a large portion of his team because of that massive ground weakness and our base 125 adamant attack, which is ridiculous. We have the Toxic. Toxic is a good thing to have on this set because of things that might want to switch into this, such as the Azumarill. Basically, the Azumarill is the switch into this thing. Toxic is just good to put on things just for whittling them down quickly and efficiently. Then lastly, just for the shits and giggles of it, we're packing Aerial Ace for the Hitmonlee, the Machamp, and the Toxicroak. Just because, you know, it'll do decent damage. I'm pretty sure it actually is guaranteed to a KO, if not an OHKO, on one of them, so that's really, really cool. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all we got here for the team. Stego, Spoop Tree, Cannons, Black Lagoon, Thor, and Chun-Li. Hopefully we can pull off another huge victory here in the PFL Minor League and really propel us even further towards the playoffs. Really, really put us ahead of the pack. Hopefully we can. Hopefully Steven loses, because I kind of liked being on top of the power rankings, and it's just been it was just a rough week, you know. It's a rough week, you know. I wasn't playing my best. Plus, you know, honestly, I'll say it now. I don't believe that I played my best, and I don't believe I prepped my best because I kind of rushed the prep. Not gonna lie, I kind of rushed the prep because it was just a matter of, you know, I was coming home in a couple of days. I rushed the prep. Kind of did it like the night before, essentially. But that's not really an excuse. But now I have a lot more ideas and things that I can bring to a potential playoff matchup against him, because there's a good chance, since he is a part of the silver division in the Johto Conference, there's actually a good chance that he can end up facing us in the playoffs at some point. So that'd be really fantastic, because I kind of want a rematch. Steven, if you watch this, buddy, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to get you. You're not going to pull one over on me this time. I'm not going to try to Thunder Wave a Limber Halucha. You're not going to get that one past me with your Limber Haluchas. Not going to get it past me. So deal with it. We're going to find alternate ways of beating the Halucha next time. That thing was honestly the biggest threat to our team. I didn't prep well enough for it, I'll be honest. I didn't even come close to prepping well enough for that thing. But, definitely going to make sure that it doesn't happen again, because I don't want to lose to Halucha again. Not a fan of losing to a Halucha. I don't like Halucha. I want to kill Halucha. Halucha shall die. So that is what shall happen. I shall make the Halucha dead. But, yeah, this is going to be the team. I'm going to stop rambling. And, you guys go. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.